Hey everyone, I am back in LA. I'm back at home. You can see from the cat behind me that we're no longer in Japan. I actually got back a couple hours ago, but we got a lot of content to catch up on, and starting with that will be some stuff from the critique corner. Before we get into the battles, a big shout out and thank you to all my patrons who've been supporting my content creation. If you would also like to have early access to my strategies and lineups, or see behind the scenes footage of my battles, feel free to sign up in the Patreon link down below. I have some footage from MrPhruitloops. I actually got this footage a while back, so their elo might be very different than what it is now. But this was during one of the previous rotations of Great League, and I wasn't able to create the footage back then, so creating it now when it is meta relevant. All right, it's going to be a Scrafty, Alolan Ninetales, Powder Stone Alolan Ninetales, and Nidoqueen team. Not sure if it's going to be Shadow Nidoqueen or not. Great play by the opponent to chip down and just swap in. Although they end up still shielding, so I don't know. I don't know if that made too much sense or not. Maybe just coming straight away Alolan Ninetales. Maybe trying to grab the shield. But yeah, that's more or less kind of a misplay by the opponent, which Fruitloops might be able to take advantage of. So let's see how this is going to continue to play out. Yeah, we do have the Scrafty in the back, and you have the matchup you want. They are going to throw another Psycho Boost and probably dip. They're staying in for some reason here. I like this play, though, from Fruitloops to build up past the Earth Power, so that it potentially could be Earth Power rather than just throwing the Psycho Boost, the Poison Fang right away. Because now that it shielded the first one, this next Poison Fang is going to be much more deadly, and unfortunately, it is going to be a double charm team. So, yeah, not the best matchup. I think Fruitloops did everything they could in that situation, but the team composition was just a little too strong. Looked like the elos around the ace range. I think I saw 2200s. Yeah, so not bad. Going against a Drapion lead. Good no shield, and then throwing right when the power punch freeze, because there's really not a lot of value in throwing when on foul play, and you can see the counters really adding up. And they're going to throw out another counter. I think potentially, I think this is fine. This opponent definitely knows how to CMP because they're throwing the Aqua Tail a little sooner than when they have the energy. So you potentially could farm a little extra, but you end up getting the extra farm here anyway. Might need to pivot out. No, they come in Trevenant. Interesting. It's not a terrible situation to swap. I think at that point, so here's something to note. The Powder Stone Alolan Ninetales and Nidoqueen both have play into Trevenant, and clearly whatever they have in the back, slurring my words a little bit, is going to be weak to Scrafty. So you have a little bit of health here. There's two things you do. You could try to pivot out. Maybe they have a Register. Register is probably the best case situation because your fast move damage is going to be much more relevant, and they can't really lock on you down very easily. So you can get a lot of value out of that Scrafty later versus Register. Or the other play is, and so you pivot out to Alolan Ninetales. Or the other play is you let the Scrafty go down, throw the foul play. The problem, and just let it get Shadow Call down. Yes, the moves from Trevenant can threaten both Alolan Ninetales and Nidoqueen, but you have two answers for it. And the main problem with this play is now you've locked the Alolan Ninetales in, whereas Nidoqueen is is also a check to that red seal. And upper shield, there's just no way you lose, right? Then you easily have the Alolan Ninetales versus Trevenant matchup. And you win that, obviously, even if they have an energy lead, because you have a shield advantage. That being said, I think Fruitloops probably still wins this battle. I'd be kind of shocked if they don't. You just double shield, throw the Poison Fang, start debuffing. Yeah, there's no need to overfarm. And they probably shield this. Yeah, but you just Poison Jab down, throw Earth Power, you should be fine. So, anyway, still able to come away with a win, but I think if you want to play a little bit cleaner, that would be my recommendation in that matchup. Yeah, it's just swapping out and saving the Scratchy for potential swap / catch. It won't really make too big of a difference, in my opinion, in that situation. All right, Swampert in the lead. They threw right away as well. It's actually, in my opinion, I think it's fine. Just commit to the power punch. just so you get that extra damage. I don't know the non-Shadow Swamper matchup. I mean, I actually don't know a lot of Scrafty matchups because it's just I don't use Scrafty a ton myself. You could probably get a few more counters too and then throw, right, to see him like throw right before they get the energy, because they don't get to like a 4th Hydro Cannon even if you wait a little later, right, just so that you can force them to throw a little bit later. But either way, we see a similar matchup as before. Again, in this situation, I probably would pivot out. I'll see how they play it out. But yeah, you just come in low Ninetales. You outpace. Okay. They stay in. What do they have in the back? Like a Charizard? I don't know. Oh, Walrein. Okay. Yeah, a little uncomfortable. I think in this specific situation, I don't know if you live this Icicle Spear. Oh, no, they went straight for the Earthquake. Yeah. Probably not going to have enough juice in the tank left to take out. Yeah, a little unfortunate. So I think the play here is this is one of the situations where you really want to pivot out. So you take out the Swampert, and look how much health and energy, right? So yes, you don't have a shield, but you have more. You have a Power Punch stored. You have a decent amount of energy. I mean, decent amount of health. You just swap over to low Ninetales, right? If they shield their Walrein, that's a little trickier, but you might be able to land Dazzling Gleam, and most people probably will save their shield for the Trevenant. But if you land Dazzling Gleam, great, you're in a great spot afterward, and they can't Powder Snow you down. If they shield Dazzling Gleam, you're going to have to like chunk it a little bit with the Scrafty, especially with Power Punch, or maybe even land a Foul Play, put it in Poison Jab range, you have some play, right? I think the problem here is that because Walrein is kind of a core breaker for both the backline Pokemon, and they clearly are weak to Scrafty, right? Because Trevenant is not a Scrafty counter. So, knowing that they're really weak to Scrafty in the back, you definitely want to try to save it if possible. Because you have enough health, in my opinion, at that point to still get a lot of value out of the Scrafty to pivot out. Right, fantastic lead. And then they come in. So, in this situation, this is a little bit tough. The non-Shadow low 90s is going to fare a little better here because you could tank the Psychic and the counters a lot better than the Shadow variant. But if the Meta Chamber just shields your Dazzling Gleam, they just win Switch. And them winning Switch is not great for this team. So long story short, I would come in Nidoqueen into this Meta Champ. They go straight for the Psychic. So yeah, this is where it gets really dicey. Even if you land this bait, I don't know if you could get to the Dazzling Gleam in time. Yeah, you can't, right? So you force it to throw a Weather Ball. So they win Switch, which is not great. Because now you have to come out the Scrafty, or you come in Nidoqueen, which also takes super effective. So you end up coming Nidoqueen. Yes, you have the shield, but yeah, I don't know. This is going to be interesting for sure. Hopefully Scrafty is a core breaker. Yeah, but you know, you're forced to double shield. So not having alignment and having shield disadvantage, typically speaking, results in losses. This is not directed at Fruit Loops, but just in general. It's very hard to come back when you don't have a switch advantage and you have a shield disadvantage. Yeah, and you can see Azumarill, unfortunately, is going to hard counter this matchup, and I think, yeah, there's probably not much you could do in this situation. So Azumarill is definitely kind of a core breaker for sure. Even if you came in Nidoqueen into the Medicham, but you have I don't know, you have some play. Azumarill definitely does core break the low Ninetales and Scrafty backline though, but I think that might be your best chance at potentially winning against that team composition. All right, Registeel. They went straight for the Focus Blast, which is kind of nice. Yeah, because you're not debuffed at all. Oh, this thing is kind of annoying too. You don't see a lot of Tentacruel though, so in my opinion, not a big deal to be weak to it. I think you just come in. I mean, I don't hate this play. You get some value out of this, right? They force you out to shield a Power Punch, or you take out 2 Pokemon with just Scrafty. Okay, you take out 2 Pokemon with Scrafty. What the heck do they have in the back? Oh, interesting. I'd probably go Power Punch here. I don't know. I mean, they have 2 shields. Okay. I stand corrected. Good call from Fruit Loops there. Yeah, I mean, I guess you have so much Pokemon in the back, you just need to grab a shield or do some meaningful damage. Yeah, wow, Scrafty just swept the whole thing by itself. Kind of nuts. Yeah, that's the thing with these Power Punchers. You know, you could definitely position yourself really well. All right, safe swapping, and then the low Ninetales. The debuff is a little unfortunate. The real question is, do you risk double shielding? Yeah, they want super power. I guess you could potentially win switch there, if you really want to. But going for the poison jab down, and then they have the low Ninetales. Actually, let me double check the league. I was thinking too much about that previous game. Okay, low Ninetales. All right, so they come in a low Ninetales into the Nidoqueen, which is kind of an interesting decision. I probably would shield this. Yeah, I like to play a lot. Shield and poison jab down. They probably will shield a third at this point, which theoretically should be weak to Nidoqueen, and as you can see, it is. This is good, because if they don't have Power Punch or Dynamic Punch, your Scrafty will be able to potentially take this out. Great catch attempt. I don't know what timing it was on, but my guess is probably something decent. Turns out they have Power Punch. I probably build it to Foul Play, yeah, because if they don't shield this, you can't really counter down, even with boosted, right? I don't hate the bait attempt. I think that you need to at least build up to the Foul Play to go for the bait. Because now there's going to be... Oh, wait, okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Still able to win it. So, good on Fruit Loops. But, again, I think I would definitely build up to the Foul Play in that situation. Alright. This is a pretty rough matchup. But... yeah, this is tough. I mean, you could tank one Zap Cannon, which is kind of the saving grace of Registeel these days into Fairies. Old Registeel would just one-shot with Flash Cannon, and they can't really lock on you down. So you get a decent amount of value. I mean, that's pretty good for a Pokemon that is only throwing resistant fast moves and charge moves at opposing bulky Steel type. Yeah, so that's actually pretty good. Getting a ton of value there. I like this Foul Play. Just want to chip it down at this point because... it allows you to go straight Poison Fang, I think. Ooh. This is a pretty hard counter. This is a super hard counter, actually. Alright, we're going to go for one bait. We get the shield. Not bad, not bad. Do you call it? Oh my gosh, a huge call. What a huge call. Sorry if I sound like my voice is a little croaky. I lost my voice a little bit commentating for Worlds. So, oh wow, dude. Incredible. Yeah, that was really good. I like that a lot because they go shields down, you just counter down and throw the Foul Play, right? So that second charge move when they threw the Earth Power was really smart. Yeah, that was pretty good. I mean, getting hard counter all the way throughout and be able to win it, nothing feels better than that. All right, they came in. Yeah, I like this play a lot because you have the lone Ninetales that beats the Umbreon. So you just stay in, right? This is okay too. I guess you see what punch they have. Like that Fire Punch, that's a different story. And then throwing the Weather Ball. I like this play too. This is fine. Because Scrafty is pretty strong. And you force him to shield on CMB. That's huge. That's huge. I don't know how intentional that was, but if it was intentional, excellent play. And you come away with energy. So this is really nice. I think you might get the Dazzling Gleam. Yeah. Massive Dazzling Gleam. My guess is Umbreon or Nidoqueen should be really strong in the back end. Oh, they're running Psychic too. What in the world? Oh yeah. Yeah, it should be pretty good because they have a neutral check in the lead and a hard check in the Hypno. I probably would let the first Ice Punch go just in case they have Power Punch, but that's fine. It looks like they just have Ice Punch. And you can tank an Ice Punch, right? Yeah, a Power Punch. Their Shielder would be kind of rough because then they're boosted and they have the Psychic they could take you out with. And Power Punch is going to do just a ton of work in your Scraft in the back end. I think at this point, though, in a really good spot. Oh, and even getting the Poison Fang off. Whoa. What are the IVs on this thing? Yep. And then nice combo play. I like that. You know, probably not necessary to win this game, but it's always good to practice, like, your mechanics and your combo plays and just playing on point as much as you can. Even in games where you already pretty much for sure won. You just want to stay in that mindset. Alright, this is pretty rough. Really rough, actually. But Scrafty is a little bit on the bulkier end, so can definitely tank Flamethrowers. At least 2. And then with this chip damage, you just counter all the way down. Waiting out a switch timer. Good play. Because this Bash Dance not going to last too long in this matchup. You don't want to be hard locked into your previous bad matchup. Getting on one Flamethrower off, getting some energy off of that, not too bad. And then they came in Wigglytuff. So this is pretty good because Nidoqueen ends up being a core breaker. Yeah, I don't know. In that situation, I agree with the shield because you don't want to get Charm down afterward. Charmers don't really have too much play with charge moves. I would throw a Poison Jab though, just to optimize. And for those that don't know why, when you throw that Poison Fang, it's going to cost you 1 turn to throw. But because the opponent is throwing Charm, they can only throw 1 Charm. Charm equals 3 turns, so you essentially give them 2 free turns off of that. If you throw a Poison Jab, then throw the Poison Fang, you not only get the Poison Jab damage and the energy that comes with it, you also still get your Poison Fang off for the same amount of turns. It's 3 turns, right? Because they still get a Charm through. So you essentially just get a free Poison Jab in that situation. But yeah, that's fine though. In that situation, Fruitloops already kind of core broke them. But just trying to explain to those that might not know about optimized charge room timing why it's important and why a lot of situations where you have nothing to lose, right? Sometimes you don't want to optimize, but majority of times you do. All right, not shielding the Psychic. I don't hate that play. I think it's pretty solid. 2 shield Nidoqueen is pretty strong on the back end, and yeah, now you have this. Hard winning matchups. Honestly, if I was the opponent, I would probably throw the Psychic and just stay in, counter down, because you could potentially pivot out. Because now they're giving Fruitloops a lot of energy on the Scrafty, which is definitely going to be pretty meaningful for that Metacham, because the foul play do add up. And taking Resisted Lick is no big deal. Body Slam is adding up though. I like to swap over. Maybe might not be a bad idea to wait a little bit, but just wait for 1 count. Just make sure it is a Metacham coming in. But it's going to be fine. All right, going straight for the Earth Power. Switching up a little bit this time. It does get shielded, but there's still 2 shields combined remaining. So you could potentially shield and... Oh, wow. Going for the huge call. Yeah, I would probably shield this one. I don't know. Okay, getting the Earth Power is something. The problem here is that, I mean, I don't know how this game plays out, but just visualizing it a little bit in my mind, I feel like you're about to get countered down from the Metacham and have a shield remaining. Because you just don't have enough. Let's see. If the opponent doesn't have Power Punch, they shouldn't throw. Yeah, it's a good no shield by them. Because they know you're closer to. They do shield this one. Yeah, you get counted down. So I think that's why one of the situations where I said maybe you should shield a Nidoqueen, because it's one of the situations where you just don't have enough health left, right? And juice and tank to take out the Metacham if you let the Nidoqueen go. But overall, really solid battles from Fruitloops. Honestly, the team is actually pretty cool too. That Nidoqueen was actually able to core break quite a bit. And there were a lot of battles where Fruitloops was just kind of hard countered and was able to find ways around it. Things to work on for Fruitloops. I think the biggest thing for Fruitloops to work on is probably situations where recognizing when you want to pivot out versus when not to, and also not to lock in a Pokemon when you have like a 1 HP like Scrafty right in the back. Like it was just better to have the alignment rather than swap out and prevent like 1 extra Shadow Claw farm, one or 2 extra fast moves to farm. So that's probably the biggest thing that I noticed. The other thing I did notice is figuring out what to counter swap with, and this was mainly when the opponent safe swap the Metacham. Is just knowing the situation where if you don't shield that Psychic on alone Ninetales, you just get the matchup flipped on you. So it's just either you commit to the shields, but even then it's kind of sketchy, right? If they bait you or they shield your Dazzling Gleam. But I think in those situations it's better to focus more on counter swapping with the Shadow Nidoqueen instead. And I think that might have been just out of habit of swapping the lone Ninetales as a safe swap, but just because they're safe swap doesn't mean it's always your counter swap. Either way, shout out to Fruitloops for the battles. It was pretty cool, and the team actually looks pretty solid. So definitely a team that some people can definitely climb with. I didn't see any huge issues with the team. I mean, we saw a game where Alone Ninetales was hard counter with the Registeel, and the Shadow Nidoqueen was hard counter with the Glinter Stunfisk, and still able to find a win. That game itself was just kind of wild to me. But really good calls on some of those situations on when to bait and when not to from Fruitloops. I am back in LA, so if you have any critique videos you want to send over to me, definitely shoot me a message at Caleb Peng on Twitter if you want your own battles reviewed. I will say that for this week's meta, which is the Open, Great League, Ultra League, and Master League, I probably won't take any further submissions other than the ones I already have, because I just don't have enough days to make them before the meta's over. But start thinking about the next meta, which I believe is Ultra League, Fantasy Cup, and something else, maybe Master League. But start thinking about that next meta, because I will definitely have more time next week to critique more footage. If you like this video, feel free to give a like and share, subscribe for future content, hit that notification bell to get alerted right when I post a new video, and I'll catch you all next time.